Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dharmadevi, sir.
Sir, you until Loyola College.
Yeah.
Loyola. இல்ல இவர்ல லைன்ல தான் இருக்காரு சார்.
ஆமா. Professor Collins and Dharmadevi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just you are waiting for the moderator to join,
Yeah,
sir.
I asked her to join by
Okay, sir.
45. She will be there. I'll call her again.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Because the people are waiting. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Vidya. ஆமா 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 they will என்ன நேம்ல இருக்குமா உங்க நேம் வந்து வித்யான் தானே இருக்கு okay I'll tell them Professor Collins.
Yes sir.
Vidya Professor Vidya அவங்களை அட்மிட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay sir.
Yes, sir. I have seen. I will allow him.
Yeah please yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. This is Dharmadevi from Sacred Heart College. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pin பண்ணி பாருங்க.
Just wait a minute, ma'am. I will pin to see the video.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Just you're waiting for the resource person, ma'am. Once
Yeah.
he enters, we shall start.
Sure.
All the best Vidya.
Yes, Father.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, kindly be online. I will mute your audio and stop your video, ma'am, for your convenience.
Yeah.
So once the resource person enters in, we will send you a message, ma'am. Kindly accept the audio and video option so that you are able to come online quickly.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Are you playing the banner?
Father,
Sir, please, sir.
Yeah, the screen is different now. I could see only.
Yeah, there is some other thing. Some other screen is there.
Yes. In fact, I could see yours. Yeah. Right. That's fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, that's
Fine, sir. So you could play the banner.
Father, 8:41. 8 minutes. 5 Father.
time is only 5 minutes more. Exactly 5 minutes. Yes, that will do.
Sir, Anthony, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, so far the resource person not entered in, sir. Could you?
Okay. No, Sir Collins.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
There is no background music. Do you really play?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The music is playing. Just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Yes.
Could you now hear, sir?
Yes, yes, it's good.
Dr. Moses Chalve? Dr. Moses Chalve, can you hear us?
Sir, just a
Dr.
minute.
Collins?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, can you unmute Professor Chalve?
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir. He's online. He's online.
Welcome, Dr. Moses. Dr. Moses, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, best wishes, Moses.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us at the right time. Thank you.
You are welcome.
பண்ணிட்டீங்களா எந்த உங்க பேர்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா
virtual view, madam?
Yeah, yes, Father.
Virtual, are you online? You can
Yes,
begin,
Father.
ma'am.
Good afternoon.
You can
Father.
begin. Good afternoon. You can begin.
Good afternoon and vanakkam to the eminent scholars, academicians, and distinguished professors gathered here online. On behalf of the organizers, I welcome Dr. Moses Chalwe, the resource person for the session, all the enthusiastic participants to the penultimate session on globalization and multiculturalism before we sign off with the valedictory. It is seemingly appropriate to have a session on this topic in the fag end, as it indicates that this conference, Industry 4.0 scenario, redefining language and literary studies, is only a beginning, a new dawn to lead the way forward with a hope for our future. On an optimistic note, if you look at the root word globe in globalization, it indicates something organic, a spirit of wholeness, life, dynamism, and a cyclical pattern of life. And the word culture in multiculturalism comes from the Latin word colere, meaning tend or to cultivate. Apart from these signs of affirmation, it is also important to look at the realistic side of life. The World Economic Forum highlights two important areas in Globalization 4.0: a positive globalization with digital economy, e-commerce, 3D, and artificial intelligence, and a negative globalization of climate change, devastating uh, effect on world's biodiversity, hazardous greenhouse gases, and so on. As many of us are aware, the word globalization is often followed by the cliched aphorism, the rich have become richer and the poor have become poorer. Today, whether we like it or not, we are all globalized by Corona, but our experiences are varied, our stories are diverse, our cultural responses are different. As language and literature people, what is our response to these issues? Talking about multiculturalism, Octavio Paz, the Mexican poet, says, what sets world in motion is the interplay of differences, their attractions and repulsions. Life is plurality, death is uniformity. And throwing light upon diversity, the Nobel Peace Laureate Rabindranath Tagore says, India's best ideas have come from the forest, influenced by the diverse processes of renewal of life, which are always at play in the forest, varying from species to species, from season to season. This unifying principle of life in diversity, of democratic pluralism, is the principle of Indian civilization. And our very own Tamil Sangam poet, Kaniyan Pungundranar, uttered, Yadu Mure Yavarum Kelir, every town is our town, all the people are our relatives. Likewise, the African Ubuntu philosophy of I am because we are also confirms the belief in pluralism, diversity, and multiculturalism. Does globalization get along with multiculturalism? Does globalization fortify multiculturalism? These are some of the questions we have in mind at this moment. With these few words of introduction, now let me take the privilege of introducing our resource person, Dr. Moses Chalwe. Dr. Chalwe Moses was born on 27th March 1975 in Copperbelt in Zambia, the last born of 9 sons and daughters of his parents. He grew up among influential people from different parts of the world and had an opportunity to go to very good schools where he tapped the interest to achieve his academic potential. He set out on his first career as a high school teacher, and he taught physics for 17 years before he became a lecturer. He has acquired several academic credentials, which include bachelor's degree in development studies, bachelor of theology, master's in business administration, PhD in business administration, and PhD in project management, respectively. Dr. Moses has experience working for very high learning institutions, which include St. Eugene DMI University, University of Zambia, Twin Palm Leadership University, and Mosa University, among others. Other institutions where he has worked includes philanthropic organizations, NGOs, and government agencies, as well as faith-based organizations. He has written and published 14 books and other works in different genres for young and old. Moses is married to Susan, a food technology scientist, and together they have 4 children. Currently a development consultant at Harvard University and Dean of Business Faculty, Dr. Chalwe is the Executive Director of Light Bearers Bible College, an American-based college operating in Zambia, as well as MD for Housematic, a prefab construction company registered and operating in Zambia. I welcome Dr. Chalwe Moses to address the gathering.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I am so grateful. May I use my Tamil language and just tell everyone, Vanakam. All right. It's quite interesting, and it's a beautiful opportunity to all of us to be part of this great conference. I was given a task to talk about multiculturalism and globalization, and I hope we're going to enjoy this particular session. Yeah, like Doctor just told us in the introductory remarks, we today are all globalized by Corona, whether we like it or not. And it's important that we learn some of the things that promote humanity and things that could hold us together as human beings. From that same word, globalization, it simply means that we coexist as one people without any iota of consideration for boundaries where we are. So allow me to start my session by thanking all of us for giving me an opportunity to be with you, to join a cadre of professionals from different parts of the global world. Thank you so much. My presentation is broken in parts. There's introduction, multiculturalism as a challenge to traditional liberalism, multiculturalism's impact on education, challenges of multiculturalism, multicultural politics, and mixture of the two, whether that's a blessing or a curse. From the introduction, multiculturalism is actually a view that cultures, races, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within a dominant political culture. And we see this happen everywhere, in every continent. I happen in everywhere, but I know we hear and see stories of such kind of acts where some cultures are considered less important than others, and terms like ethnocentrism is actually used, and many other things. So in essence, we are trying to say it's a view that cultures, races, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within a dominant culture. That acknowledgement can take the form of recognition of contributions to the cultural life of the political community, or a demand for special protection under the law of certain cultural groups, or autonomous rights of governance for certain cultures. Moving on, multiculturalism is both a response to the fact of cultural pluralism in modern democracy and a way of compensating cultural groups for past exclusion, past discrimination, and past oppressions. Most modern democracies comprise members with diverse cultural viewpoints, practices, and contributions. Many minority cultural groups have experienced exclusion or the denigration of their contributions and identities in the past. Multiculturalism seeks the inclusion of the views and contributions of diverse members of society while maintaining respect for their
Excuse me? Excuse me, Dr. Moses. Excuse me, Dr. Moses. Could you just close your videos? We will be able to hear you better. The voice is breaking. You
Oh, it's
can,
breaking.
voice is breaking. Maybe it's because of too much of bandwidth being used, both voice and video. Maybe you can just cut down the video and just speak only. We will be able to hear you better. Is that okay?
Right. Let me. Okay.
Yes.
If-
Yes, you
Okay,
can talk now.
Do I need to restart?
No problem. Now it is fine. Please carry on.
Great.
Carry on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Are you playing it from that end?
Continue, doctor. You can continue from where you started.
Okay, go to the next screen.
Yeah.
Next screen. Next screen. Great. Okay. So just going over on this one, we said that acknowledgement can take the form of recognition of contribution to the cultural life of the political community as a whole, a demand for special protection under the law for which cultural groups, autonomous rights of government for certain cultures. Next. Next, this one I just talked about it. Okay, moving to the next screen. Awesome. So why is multiculturalism a challenge? I want us to look at that. Multiculturalism stands as a challenge to liberal democracy. In liberal democracies, all citizens should be treated equally under the law by abstracting the common identity of citizens from the real social, cultural, political, and economic positions and identities of real members of the society. So in that case, it's a challenge. That leads to a tendency to homogenize the collection of citizens and assume a common political culture that all participate in. However, that abstract view ignores other political features of the identity of political subjects that exceed the category of citizens, such as, next screen, a race, religion, class, and sex. Although claiming the formal equality of citizens, the liberal democratic view tends to overemphasize ways in which citizens are not, in fact, equal in society, and that is expected. Rather than embracing the traditional liberal image of the melting pot into which people of different cultures are assimilated into a unified national culture, multiculturalism generally holds the image of a tossed salad to a more appropriate. Although being an integral and recognizable part of the whole, diverse members of society can maintain their particular identity while residing in the collective. Next screen. Some more radical multicultural theories have claimed that some cultural groups need more than recognition to ensure the integrity and maintenance of their distinct identities and contributions. In addition to individual equal rights, some have advocated for special group rights and autonomous governance for certain cultural groups. because the continued existence of protected minority cultures ultimately contributes to the good of all the enrichment of the dominant culture. Those theorists have argued that the preserving of cultures that cannot stand the pressures to assimilate into a dominant culture can be given preference over the usual norm of equal rights for all. Thank you for that. Now we are moving on to multiculturalism impact on education. What have we seen in the past? What have we seen in the now? And what are we likely to see in the future? So here we go. Some examples of how multiculturalism has affected the social and political spheres are found in revisions of secular, particularly in Africa, and we've seen a lot of it, including my country, Zambia, Europe, and I saw it when I was in Spain last year, North America, and we've seen it every day, and the expansion of Western literary and other canons that began during the last quarter of the 20th century. Next. Curricula from the elementary to the university levels were revised and expanded to include the contributions of minority and neglected cultural groups. That revision was designed to correct what is perceived to be a falsely Eurocentric perspective that emphasizes the contributions of the white European colonial powers and emphasizes the contributions made by indigenous people and people of color. So that is one of the things that came out. Next slide. In addition to that correction, the contributions that cultural groups have made in a variety of fields have been added to curricula to give special recognition for contributions that were previously ignored. For example, the establishment of African American History Month, and this is observed, and National Hispanic Heritage Month in the United States is an example of the movement. Added to that, the addition of works by members of minority culture groups to the canons of literary, historical, philosophical, and artistic works further reflects the desire to recognize and include multicultural contributions to the broader culture as a whole. And we see that universities, there are some universities in the US that have been dedicated to African people in a way to recognize the minority and excluded groups. This we see it happening all the time. Next slide. Awesome. Okay, now we're moving on to challenge. Some of the challenges, they are two primary objectives to multiculturalism. The first one is that multiculturalism privileges the good of certain groups over the common good, thereby potentially eroding the common good in favor of a minority interest. The second is that multiculturalism undermines the notion of equal individual rights, thereby weakening the political value of so it undermines the political value of equal treatment. That's what it is. So those are the two challenges that I can bring right now. We can move on to the next slide. There you go. Okay. Multiculturalism raises other questions. There is the question of which culture will be recognized. Obviously, that's expected because there is a dominancy of culture and there is the subjection of culture. So some theorists have worried that multiculturalism can lead to a competition between cultural groups all vying for recognition, and that will further reinforce the dominance of culture. Further, the focus on cultural group identity may reduce the capacity for collisional political movements that might develop across differences. Some Marxists and feminist theorists have expressed worry about the division of other important differences shared by members of society that do not necessarily entail a shared culture, such as class and sex. And that's true because there is no way you can mix the two. Moving on, we now move to multicultural politics. How is this done? Multiculturalism is closely associated with the identity politics or political and social movements that have group identity as the basis of their formation and the focus of their political action. Those movements attempt to to further the interests of their group members and force issues important to their group members into the public sphere. Those are the things we can see. And moving on furthering on this, in contrast to multiculturalism, identity politics movements are based on the shared identities of participants rather than on a specifically shared culture. However, both identity politics and multiculturalism have in common the demand for recognition and redress for past inequalities. I like to call this cadarism in a way, because that's what you see in people that may want to force their political agenda. Multiculturalism raises important questions for citizens, public administrators, and political leaders. By asking for recognition of and respect of cultural differences, multiculturalism provides one possible response to the question of how to increase the participation of previous oppressed groups. Now, I want us to look at the combined concepts between the two majors, globalization and multiculturalism. By establishing the existence of a global public good, the sustainability opens up and makes plural the human identities, which brings down the partition walls of multiculturalism and offers a meaning and a reflection to the interculturality around a common civilization project. But the globalization of development that requires, next slide, that requires the adoption of human needs to the natural capacities is challenging the economic globalization rationalities imposed by the state or market couple. It demands the emergence of civil actor. This demands the emergence of the local and the world, and to value the culture biodiversity, and to allow the intercultural implementation of sustainability cooperative links by the local and the global sustainability. We can move on. Great. So it's true that cultures are continuously or continually evolving as by endogenous forces and at contact, desired or required, with other cultures. Not quite homogeneous, I must say, nor completely cut off from each other. Their links have now extended and expanded by will or by need. Because of forces of globalization, you either want to export or you either want to buy. So our links have now been expanded by will or by need. And all this is in the wake of capitalism. So globalization and multiculturalism, as well as sustainability and interculturality, such spaces are incompatible and unethical to sustainability. A holistic concept whose scientific and ethical purpose calls to bring attention to the link, the linked, and the linking. This is Diane 2003, and I liked what it tries to put together. So interculturality is with sustainability, in which it finds a meaning and a direction, and why it is the condition and the major issue and ethical project that requires economic globalization to become human, responsible, and peaceful. Both are challenging models of development exclusively oriented by market and strategies of states. They require to globalize the development to allow the emergence of civil actors in the world stage and to focus on the sense of community and to the citizenship on the global, attractive, coherent, and effective project, which could rebuild the world and allow overall sustainability from the local. We need to recognize as the fourth dimension of sustainability, intercultural frees the global civil society from closed identity borders. It delivers the cultural exchange of plural monoculturalism that materializes the partition walls of multiculturalism. By combining themselves, the sustainable and the intercultural enable adaptation of need to the capacity of nature. From the tools to the person culturally contextualized, and from the identity to the plurality of human links, they prepare future generations to engage in intercultural community projects that could be economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable. They mobilize individual creativity, the person expertise, and solidarity of the overall sustainability on the local territories of projects where the thinking together is no longer accompanied by acting alone. We can move on. Reality of multicultural and language dynamics. They stumble over the language issue where beyond the cultural meaning implies that the choice of language of communication carries with it the the untranslatable. including the future unknown in some of the 6,700 languages of the world still living. Of course, this accounts to what I'm calling the challenge to globalization and multiculturalism. Although they may try to overdo things here and there, but let's face it, there are over 6,700 languages in all the world. So there are some words that cannot just be translated, and that's the truth. They must be concerned with the question of the relationship with the other that punctuates the life of every person. Relationships between private and public, between generations, between genders, between emotions, and to speech, interferences, trusts, uncertainties, and fears. So some of these things cannot be translated. They face the daunting question of social meaning that confronts holistic representation and individualistic approaches. Relationship with nature, time, work, kinship, honor, success, price, equality, knowledge, health, destiny, or authority. In some cultures, the authority, for example, may be motivated by reciprocity and service, while in others, it is driven by power. They cross on their paths of strategies of power, attempts to make a political weapon from cultural policy and economic realities, which focus on community characteristics, only those offering business opportunities and all. We can move. This devalues local culture and constantly tends to bracket the global civil society. But in the context of globalization of developments, which is required by the implementation of the global imperatives of sustainability, economic globalization, which is a condition of sustainability, cannot evade the issues relating to development goals. Instead, in the order of values and purpose, the realities of economy and states. By carrying capacity of nature, requesting the difference and the limits in articulating the local space, in the global and in the rebuilding the global at the local level, in empowering the individual, in caring for the emergence of world civil actor, and offering an holistic approach to realities of politics and economics, sustainability offers a way out of a multicultural world which lacks an intercultural approach and a shared civilization project. We can move on. Next slide. Oh, okay. That appears to be the last project. We can, the last slide. You can move on to the last one.
The next one.
Yes. Okay, great. So that's about all, and this ends my presentation. Thank you very much. Doctor?
Vidya?
Yes, Father. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Start.
Yes, we're done.
So thank you very much, Dr. Moses Chalvi, for the erudite presentation. Let us move on to the interaction. If we can have some questions from the audience, you can send it. Uh, so we have a question. The first question, uh, sir, can you kindly elaborate on the impact of multiculturalism on society?
Come again?
Can you elaborate the impact of multiculturalism on society?
Oh, great. Okay. What we see from the material is that multiculturalism has impact on society because we are trying to make the marginalized groups fit in the dominant cultures. So sometimes we may overdo it, and sometimes we might actually miss the whole point. So what we're trying to say is that we would want people to recognize each other on equity, just basing on the principles of human rights and treat each other equally. Because trying to ignore the minority groups is just as bad as trying to emphasize their existence. All those are two extreme ends. So theorists actually compete on this one, and they are saying it's actually better to use the human rights model than going to the dominant or the marginalized group cultures, because those are two extreme ends of the same thing. So the impact really is that once we try to emphasize these marginalized groups, we've seen what feminist culture has brought in trying to bring the women to the fore, to the decision-making table. We have ended up messing up ourselves because we have overdone it in certain cases. And so ignoring them completely also is another way of overdoing it. That's just an example of marginalized groups of people. Sometimes we want to bring the youths into the politics. They overdo it, they ignore certain things, and completely leaving them out also is another bad thing. So what we are saying is we need to just do an Englishation, a perfect mix of everything, so that we approach each other, treat each other, respect each other on the fundamentals of human rights. Like that, it's a better view. So the impact really is diverse and it is multifaceted because it's inherent on how we treat each other, how we treat each particular group, not ignoring them, but integrating them in a society and treating them as equal is a better way of doing it. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on to the next question. How does globalization affect Africa?
Okay, how does globalization affect Africa?
Affect Africa. Probably you can take both affect and effect.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think it's a plus and negative in a way. It's a plus and negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the countries in Africa are actually on the receiving end. And although we have a lot of natural resources, we do not have a lot of skill or a lot of industries to translate them into finished products. So we actually are affected by dumping because whenever they are mining, whenever they are getting the resources, it's done in a way that biodiversity is not considered. You know, there's a lot of destruction on the ground, air is polluted, and we tend to actually get to suffer the negative effects. And then on the positive note, at least globalization has created a market for us as African as African people. We have a red market in China, we have a red market in Europe and many other continents. So we are able to do business as usual. But it's both positive and negative in a way, because we really get affected. And sometimes there is exploitation in a way, because you notice that most of the raw materials that are exported from Africa, the price is actually fixed in London through London Stock Exchange, you know. So it's both sides of the coin, really. We see good things happening because of globalization. We actually also see bad things happening because of globalization. Fortunately for us, a contemporary pandemic, we are talking about COVID-19, Africa is not very hit, except for South Africa, which is very much affected. And also, there are not many deaths, but a lot of people are sick. But most of the countries in Africa are not as impacted as Europe was or as China was. So, which is why I'm saying we suffer globalization, both on the positive and the negative as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
When there is another question, when there is multicultural practice in a society, what kind of conflict do you see in that society? Could you suggest any resolution for it?
I wouldn't want to go into pointing one particular society or two because of ethical considerations, but we see it happen. I don't know about other places, but I have lived in Europe. I have also lived in Africa. They are minority groups or specific sects or cultural groups that are excluded from the dominant cultures. And we see that because of this, they want to express themselves in any way they can. They might, excuse me, they might want to put on clothes in a certain way. Most of them, they do that. Sometimes they show it on their faces by wearing certain things, because they are a small group within a dominant culture, but they want to express it. And sometimes we see it through the works of art. They want to sing, dance, or even express it in whatever forms of music that make them feel loud or even become more visible to society. Sometimes it's good because we need to see them and hear them, but sometimes they overdo it. And I think it's incumbent on the recipient culture, which is a dominant culture in this particular respect, to make them feel welcome and to assimilate them, to allow them to integrate in the main and dominant culture. So we see these minority cultures and groups everywhere. Sometimes it may not be in a culture, but it may be a culture in a workplace. And we see such kind of things happen. It's on the part of the dominant culture to help them integrate and help them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moses, for the vivid examples that drive home the message to the participants and to the audience. Here, there is another participant with a question. Explain language dynamics.
Okay.
In the context of globalization. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of globalization, language dynamics refer to differences. I might say differences within inherent languages spoken in different places for different reasons, because there isn't anything like one language. Language is associated with cultures, and then politics, and then social underpinnings. So you see, in fact, and including trade. So language may differ. One Swahili may be one Swahili in Zambia, another Swahili in Zimbabwe, another Swahili in Tanzania, because of dynamics, differences, small traits in culture, and what people do together. So dynamics in terms of globalization can be something that a language that comes as a result of trade, as a result of politics, as a result of religion, as a result of selling or buying. So there is interdependency between us, and some form of communication has to happen. And as this communication happens, they are cultural differences, they are traditional differences, and then language differences as well. So we have to create a unique language to make trade happen. So all this together brings what is known as dynamics, language dynamics in relation to globalization.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, how do you react to the emerging tendency of protectionism being increasingly promoted by the developed world in the recent times?
I think that question means asking for my opinion, and I'll be very willing to share it. And I hope I will not sound like I'm labeling anyone here or pointing fingers at anyone. My immediate reaction is that I think they are overdoing it. They are overdoing it in a way. We saw a video in the past few weeks. You remember after the Black Lives Matter campaign? Okay, yeah. Some people are trying to, some governments in the developed world are trying to over apologize, if I may say that, by overdoing things. We see them releasing funds to the minority groups and to Black people. We see them giving a lot of scholarships. It's like they are now giving too much to the Blacks, which may not be too good, because they are trying to run away from the past accusations. And I think symbiotic existence is the way to go. My own take on this one is that they must not overreact as they are doing it. A Black man is just as equal as a white man, regardless of your color. We all were created in God's image. We meet on the same platform, whether you are educated or not, we are the same human beings, and we are all standing before each other equal on equal ground, whether you are from a minority group or from a dominant culture, whether you are from a Black African race or from Texas, Ohio, or anywhere, we are the same people. We must just accept it that we were created differently by God, and we each have different abilities and capabilities, but we coexist as one. So no one must overdo it, because no one is a boss. We are all the same, whether in power or not. That's my take.
Thank you, sir. This is my own question. How does language reflect the worldview of a person, at least in your context, in the African context?
Great. Language, to me, has a bearing on worldview of an individual. Worldview in the sense that, allow me to use the word experience in place of worldview.
Yeah.
How you view your world because of where you've been or what you have done. It impacts greatly on a person, because obviously experience speaks for you, and obviously language also defines you, because the more exposed you become, the more you know, and the better understanding of dynamics of humanity you have. So you are able to interact in a wider platform, and you are able to do business, you are able to be appreciated and become so relevant to the needs and aspirations of the people. So it's quite in the positive, I would say.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as literature people, many of us have read African novels and plays by Chinua Achebe and Ole Soyinka, and they inspire us of socio-cultural identity, understanding the socio-cultural identity of people in Africa. So do you have any experiences of meeting them, or reading their works, or something
Yes,
like
I did.
that?
Chinua Achebe is one of the distinguished scholars from Nigeria, a West African country. He is not alone. We have thousands of them, the legends in literature. And we grew up reading these books. We grew up doing plays. Some of them have done a lot of plays, and most of the films from Nigeria, you can see the old stories are now acted out. So it's really a beautiful experience. It just helps us to understand us, where we come from. It also helps us to understand our now and project into the future. So it's beautiful. I also had an opportunity to read beyond African novelists. I also read Indian novelists. I also read Japanese. I read Canadian and European. It's quite interesting. And what I see in all these scholars is that they are trying to bring out the best from their culture, and they are interested to just expose and export the best of what their culture can offer. And it's pretty interesting. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, so much, Dr. Moses. So I would like to say the vote of thanks now. Before I sum up the session, some of the takeaways of the session are Dr. Moses began with a note of caution that multiculturalism can create hierarchies among groups, and it is as a challenge to traditional liberalism. And there's an effort to do away with the Eurocentric model and the melting pot image. And there's an effort to move towards the symbol of the tossed salad and what we call the vegetarian thali in the Indian context, or the mosaic. And the paradigm shift from multiculturalism to interculturality, which contributes to sustainability, asserting the ideas of thinking together is not acting alone. So on behalf of the organizers and participants, I'd like to thank Dr. Moses Chalvi for his erudite presentation and knowledge sharing. It is time to move on to the valedictory. And for that, let me make some announcements.
Thank you so much
All the
for being here.
Thank you so much. All participants and paper presenters kindly submit the feedback form and confirmation form, which will be made available to you in your registered email ID at the end of the valedictory. For the kind attention of the paper presenters, a confirmation form for the paper presenters will be sent to your registered email today to collect your details and the title of your paper for the certificates. Kindly take care to furnish your exact details as you would like to appear it on the certificate. Remember, we will not do editing your details during, yeah, thank you so much. Over to the organizers.
We would like to move on now to the valedictory. Over to you, Anto Maria.
Gratitude is the greatest prayer, and thank you is the greatest mantra. Let's begin this valedictory program with a prayer song.
Shalom. Shalom. Somo niko karibu.
That sums up our entire feeling of gratitude at this moment. Now, I call upon Dr. K.S. Anthony Sami, Head Department of English, Loyola College, Chennai, to welcome the gathering and introduce Reverend Father Francis Xavier, Rector of Loyola College, Chennai. We welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The 5-day International Virtual Conference 2020 Industry 4.0 Scenario Redefining Language and Literary Studies has whisked away like that, simply like that, as it was engaging with lots of interesting as well as lived experiences shared from various points of view. Input given to relate ourselves to plethora of perspectives available on language and literary studies, and demonstrations made to view seriously new ways of learning and teaching during Industry 4.0 scenario. We are at the valedictory session of the trend-setting virtual conference born out of the collaborative effort of 4 reputed academic institutions: Thiruvalluvar University, Vellore, Loyola College, Chennai, Sagadat College, Tirupattur, Government Thirumagal Mills College, Gudiyatham. Let me extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. In a special way, I welcome Reverend Dr. Francis P. Xavier, S.J., Society of Jesus, Rector, Loyola College, who is going to deliver the valedictory address. Reverend Dr. D. Maria Anthony, SDB, Salesian of Don Bosco, Principal, Sagadat College, Tirupattur, and all other officials from Thiruvalluvar University, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and the Principal of GTM College, Gudiyatham, and all the organizers and participants. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. A special word of welcome is due to the resource persons who have been the backbone of the conference. Bertrand Russell was a mathematician and philosopher who got Nobel Prize for Literature in 1950. Here is a scientist who could combine science, philosophy, and religion, all three in one, a rare combination and the right blend of science and humanities. He, he, his thinking is typically post-human. That is Reverend Father Francis P. Xavier, Rector. In layman's language, the head of all Loyola institutions on Loyola campus, Chennai. He was graduated from Loyola College and post-graduated from St. Joseph's College, Trichy. He did his doctoral research at Boston College, USA. He has also mastered in philosophy and theology, Bachelor of Philosophy, Jnanadeepa Vidyadeep, Pune, and Master of Divinity from St. Georgen, Germany. He has held various prestigious positions both at national and international level. He has been Vice President, Jesuit Worldwide Learning, Founder Director and Professor of Physics at Loyola Ecom College of Engineering and Technology, Chennai, Provincial Jesuit Madurai Province, Founder Director, Loyola Institute of Frontier Energy, Vice Principal, of course, in Loyola College, and Professor of Physics, and above all is an Editor-in-Chief of Convergence, a journal brought forth by Life, Loyola College, Chennai. He has also been visiting faculty to Creighton University, USA, and Gazan Professor at Boston College, USA. His area of research are organic photoconductors. He is a physics professor, and he is naturally interested in science, and his passion is philosophy and religion. He has been a visiting scientist at Boston College for last 2 decades, and he has associated himself with Crystal Growth Center, Anna University, Life at Loyola College. He has published 21 books so far, 143 research articles that shows his research aptitude. He has guided 10 PhD scholars, and 20 MPhil candidates. He has organized innumerable symposia and presented 53 papers. To his credit, he has one patent on digital humidity sensor. That was the research conducted at Loyola Institute of Frontier Energy, and yet another to be conferred for 3-zone furnace for co-crystallization. He is a much sought after resource person for time management. In fact, he has written a book on time management, administration, education, spiritual direction, and Ignatian spirituality. Over to Father Francis P. Xavier, Rector, Loyola Institutions, to deliver the valedictory address for International Virtual Conference 2020 on Industry 4.0 scenario. Over to you, Father.
Thank you, Dr. Anthony Sami. Dear professors, research scholars, colleagues, good afternoon to you all. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon and share my few ideas on the virtual international conference on Industry 4.0 scenario, redefining language and literary studies. The technological and scientific advancements in the last 2 decades have been much more than the progress in the last 20 centuries. All innovations follow the dictum, small is beautiful. The world is in your pocket. Probably many of you have been following this international conference through your pocket mobiles. Ever since Homo sapiens discovered fire, the food chemistry changed life forever. The foraging society got into agriculture. Agriculture needed instruments. Industry began then. Today, we talk about the 4th industrial revolution, which is the ongoing transformation of traditional manufacturing and industrial practices combined with the latest smart technology. Everything today is turning digital. But today we have been jolted by the coronavirus pandemic. Technological revolution and scientific advancement have not brought in the redemption needed urgently and massively for the people under global attack of corona. There seems to be total breakdown of science and technology, which includes Industry 4.0. Could literature come to the rescue? The first felt need of human beings was communication. Initially, the communication was in signs, and then sound was added, symbols and drawings followed, eventually language came in. When language grew rich, literature made way, and literature accelerated technical and industrial evolution. When the communication was not powerful, one did not know what was happening in another part of the world. Take, for example, Leibniz from Germany and Newton from the UK, without knowing the work of the other, simultaneously discovered calculus in maths. This happened in the 17th century. Only when writing and literature became popular, the real progress started in our world. For evolution of language as well as literature, keen observation of nature is essential, not only for poetry and drama, but also for science. The minute observation of nature brought in intuition for Einstein and Raman. Einstein proposed the particle nature of light. Even today, the scientists are not able to decide whether light is particle or a wave. Einstein said, that light bends when passing through massive objects. Eventually, it was proved later. Raman similarly asked the simple question, why does the sea look blue? It is because sea reflects the blue sky. This made him ask the supplementary question, why does then sky look blue? The outcome is the Nobel Prize winning Raman effect. Simple questions of intuition make way for technology leading to industrial evolution. But then there should be right application of technology. Alfred Nobel, a Swedish chemist, discovered dynamite to break rocks while making tunnels in the mountain, but it was misused for killing people in wars. Invention should be people-friendly. You might have heard that the inventor of guillotine, Joseph Ignace Guillotine, was allegedly put to death by the same guillotine. In reality, Dr. Guillotine had neither invented the guillotine, nor was he put to death by the guillotine. As a medical doctor, he was for the people's welfare and he advocated vaccine for diseases. Literature could honor a person or could humiliate the person. Literature could make one or break one in life. Literature gives orientation as well as impulse, but it should be used properly. In his poem At Woodward's Gardens, Robert Frost describes how a little boy standing very close to a monkey cage is playing with a lens focusing sunlight. In a flash of the moment, one monkey snatches the lens from the boy. Then the monkeys examined it, now I quote, and instituted an investigation. On their part, though without the needed insight, they bit the glass and listened for the flavor. They broke the handle and the binding of it, then none the wiser frankly gave it up. End of the quote. On the other hand, literature should help one fathom the reality and oneself. I was fascinated by the words of the Jesuit poet Gerard Manley Hopkins, who used the words inscape and instress. Inscape is the distinctive design which is the characteristic of individual identity in creation. And instress is the thrust energy that enables one to realize one's specific distinctiveness. Literature should enrich one's life and further should lead the way for the industry to be of help to the people. But today, linguistics seems to be on its own direction, whereas technology seems to be taking a different path. When you go for a medical checkup, the report is prepared by the machine, of course, depending on the parameters put in the program, instead of the medical expert synthesizing the situation. Today, we treat mostly the symptoms rather than the root causes. And all we have and use are machine-made, put together on an assembly line. Language today should make people get back to intuition. Literature should give people insights to find meaning and fullness in life. Earlier, our forefathers were happy and content with what they had. But today, people have the tendency to accumulate more goods rather than possess peace of mind and joy of heart. Industry makes people live like machines. When I was studying in Germany, a friend visited me. When I asked him for his impression of Germany, he said, in Germany, people move like machines, but in India, machines work like people. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Literature should make people think in terms of compassion. Effective literature gives meaning to life. Think of the few lines from Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, just to want to quote 3 sentences from this novel. 1, the one thing that does not abide by majority rule is a person's conscience. People generally see what they look for and hear what they listen for. Third, you never really know a man until you stand in his shoes and walk around in them. Or the lines from Michel Benoit's Prisoner of God, I quote, each day I go to the cemetery, to the resting place of those who are really alive, end of the quote. Such lines would change persons for better and would help even the profit-making industrialists people-oriented. Hence, literature should be embedded with ethics and values for the betterment of the society. Jesuit education does not train one to become rich, but enriches one to be happy in serving others. Jesuit formation forms one to live with ethical values. How far one should go in the name of love? When we read A Walk to Remember or The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, we realize how genuine love could mutually enrich our commitment. Or for that matter, if we could read The Fifth Mountain by Paulo Coelho, he would say that we could learn a lot from a child of how to be happy all the time and how to keep oneself busy without doing any work and how to get things done. As one could read in The Devil's Advocate by Maurice West, what is important is not great works we achieve, but one positive impact on others whom we have come across in life. Today, we look up frantically to the medical world for a tablet or vaccine that would save us from the clutches of the invisible corona. Our technology could take us to the moon, but could not reach out to the tiny corona. During this time of desperation, hope-giving literature could instill confidence in oneself, in others, and in God. Multiculture enriches language, and language enhances one's thinking and feeling, leading to a life of universality. In this context, the international conference is a good attempt to bring in academic institutions to make our educational institutions epicenters of social change as we form our students to be leaders of the society. We need to identify the talents of students and nurture them. We need to understand and accept them as they come back affected by corona trauma. As Thoreau would say, I quote, if a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drama. Let him step to the music which he hears, however measured or far away. End of the quote. As literary experts, you have a great mission to achieve. You need to address the declining habit of book reading. You have to write books that would move people and that would inspire them to work for people and people-oriented technology. Literature is giving life and meaning to words, and words could make one or break one. If our words could stimulate humanness, bonding with people and nature, it would be that the human being discover the fire for the second time. This fire would kindle the fire of knowledge leading to service in others. I appreciate the efforts taken collaboratively by the Department of English at Loyola College, Chennai, Thiruvalluvar University, Vellore, Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur, and Government Thirumagal Mills College, Gudiyatham, to get myriads of experts from all over the globe to share their experience and insights. I thank the conveners of the International Virtual Conference, Dr. K.S. Antonisamy, Dr. Kadiresan, Reverend Dr. Maria Arekaraj STB, and Dr. Vasuki, and the team for all their concerted efforts. Wish you all the best in your literary service. Show the way for industries to be there for the people, especially the needy, who are at the bottom of the social pyramid. Thank you for listening. All the best.
Father, you are emphatic in your message that during the time of desperation, hope-giving literature could alone instill confidence in oneself, in others, and in God. It's heartening for all of us as students of literature to note that perspective. We vow to live up to that expectation of showing the way for industries to be there for the people, especially the needy who are at the bottom of the social pyramid, as you said. Thank you very much for the powerful message with the clarion call given to literature to lead the world. On behalf of the organizers, I sincerely thank you for your presence, your message, your prayers and blessings. Thank you very much, Father. My dear participants, we do not intend to give you any comprehensive report of the conference. Yet, here are a few interesting numbers for all of you as participants. The resource persons whom we have invited, with whom you could have interacted, are as many as 20, 16, I mean. Some of them are from South Africa, Zambia, Bangladesh, Libya, Saudi Arabia, and India. You find even among Indian resource persons, the resource persons are from Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Jharkhand, as wide as you would have imagined. Far and wide, we have invited. And for your information, there are 787 participants from northeastern states, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, Jharkhand, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, Odisha, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu. And in fact, we had 270 paper presentations for all 3 days in 6 chat rooms. In each room, there were 16 to 17 presenters. On the whole, it was an enriching experience, an enlightening sessions we had. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you could have enjoyed being with us for the last 1 week, and you are surely carrying home sweet memories of this virtual conference. Wish you all the best. Over to the MC.
Thank you, dear sir, for your gracious words. Let us recap and relive some of the finest moments of this conference through this video presentation by Professor Louis Sahai Enston and Professor Saravanan. Thank you, sirs, for rekindling our memories. This International Virtual Conference 2020 is organized for you, my dear participants. Your satisfaction is our bliss. We would like to hear about your views regarding the conference, starting from the resource persons, paper presenters, participants, and moderators. Sorry for this interruption, my dear participants. Now, let me have the pleasure of inviting Reverend Dr. K. Maria Arakyaraj to introduce Reverend Dr. D. Maria Anthony Raj, Principal of Sekadat College, Tirupattur. We welcome you, Father.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to introduce Reverend Dr. D. Maria Anthony Raj, the Principal, Sekadat College, Tirupattur, Tamil Nadu, India. And he is also a syndicate member of Thiruvallur University. He is a man of clear vision and is a very dynamic person who has been taking the college from strength to strength by taking people along with him and encouraging the team. In fact, this International Virtual Conference 2020 is an example of his leadership. Planning and preparing well ahead is the second name, a hallmark of a good leader. Welcome, Father. The audience is waiting for your words. Over to you, Father.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to thank for the gracious words spoken by Father Maria Arikiraj, the additional principal. It's because of Father additional principal, this beautiful conference has taken shape. I'd like to say a few words about our college. Sacred Heart College is serving the rural youth in the backward district of Tirupattur, formerly attached to Vellore district. We have been here existing for the past 70 years or so, and we are faithful to our mission that of serving the rural youth. Even today, more than 90% of our students are from villages, and we cater to the poor. In that way, we still carry on the legacy of our founders. We have a dedicated Salesians, 200 faculty members, and nearly 100 non-teaching staff who day in and day out work for the institution. And because of their sacrifice and hard work, we have been ranked by NAC at A plus grade. In fact, we got 3.31, one of the first institutions to undergo NAC accreditation, the new format. We are grateful to God for this gift. And the college has been doing its very best in academics and trying to focus greater attention on research and extension activities. And I'd like to thank everyone for their contribution. I'd like to thank for the additional principal, Father Maria Arikiraj, along with the other heads of the various institutions, Loyola College, Government Tirumagal Arts and Science College, of course, our own university, Tiruvallur University, stationed at Vellore. All the heads coming together, organizing this 5-day international virtual conference, Industry 4.0 scenario, redefining language literature studies. They have gone through the minutest detail in planning and conducting this 5-day conference. My heartfelt thanks to all the conveners of the 4 institutions for organizing this beautiful seminar. I also like to thank the various heads of the departments of the various institutions and the faculty members of these 4 host institutions for coming in and giving their might in organizing this beautiful conference. Going through the brochure, dear participants, I found lots of scholars, eminent VCs from various countries like Zambia, South Africa, Bangladesh, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Dear participants, just I was saying there was a little hiccup. I was a student of Loyola College from the year 1993-95. I did my MCOM. I carry with me a lot of good memories from Loyola College, and I carry with me a lot of good memories. I like to thank the Jesuit priests. And even today, the Jesuit institutions are a mighty help to all of us in guiding our institutions. I like to thank all the Jesuit priests for their excellent support. Dear participants, I'm sure these 5 days of virtual conference would have given you a lot of insights and ideas into culture and literature of various countries. As a message, I like to tell you, my dear participants, we need to cultivate critical thinkers and critical writers among our students. People who could highlight the issues and challenges faced by our humanity, faced by our society, and put them down in good literary form, because literary form reach the masses. If this is achieved, I'm sure the success of the conference would have been what you call reached. And also, as educators, we need to cultivate in our students to stand for truth, and we need to encourage brave writers who would stand by the truth, what may come. Today, we lack such authors. Today, our society is faced with a lot of challenges, and we need young generation who could critically think and present them to the masses and enlighten the masses and to find out what is the truth. This would be our mission in the coming years as teachers of literature. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for this beautiful 5-day conference, and I'm sure we will collaborate in the future and come up with various other editions choosing similar themes. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Father, for your words of motivation. It's my honor to invite Dr. Syed Safi, Registrar, Thiruvalluvar University, to felicitate the gathering.
Good evening. It gives me immense pleasure to be one of the felicitators for the 5-day International Web Conference, Industry 4.0 Scenario, Redefining Language and Literary Studies. This web conference is truly international in the sense that nearly from all the continents we have resource persons, participants and paper presenters. When I see the brochure, I could find that there are 9 international resource persons from various countries and 7 domestic resource persons representing several states of India. It is humanly impossible to organize and execute the task within the limited time work. Communicating with the resource persons, participants, paper presenters, and well wishers is not an easy job. I congratulate my own faculty members under the leadership of Dr. B. Kadiresan, Head Department of English, Thiruvalluvar University, have done a marvelous job. I could also appreciate the team spirit of Dr. B. Kadiresan, who joined hands with Loyola College of Chennai and with 2 of our Thiruvalluvar University affiliated colleges, that is Sacred Hearts College, Tirupattur, and Gudiyatham Thirumagal Mills College, Government College, Gudiyatham, the joint venture should be specially appreciated now. In the era of nuclear family setup, these four institutions have gone for joint organization. This is also a good message for all. Unite, we win. I appreciate the conveners and the team members of Tiruvallur University, Vellore, Loyola College, Chennai, Sacred Hearts College, Tirupattur, and GTM College, Gudiyatham. I also pray that the joint venture continued forever. A note of special thanks to all those who helped in the effective conduct of the seminar, especially to Dr. Sumati Sripati, an illustrious daughter of the renowned Professor Emeritus Dr. Sripati. I also appreciate and acknowledge the participants and paper presenters from all over the globe, which is mainly possible because of the web conference. The university, even though young, is now steadily marching towards the zenith of its achievements. With all your support, my sincere gratefulness to that too. May God bless everyone. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words of felicitation. Thank you, sir, for your kind words of felicitation. It's my great delight to invite Dr. S. Kaveri Ammal, the principal of Government Thirumagal Mills College, Gudiyatham, to felicitate the gathering on this beautiful occasion.
Good morning to everyone. I cordially invite you all for the International Virtual Conference. Few of my words. English literature is not novel, poetry and drama. It is perception, emotion and life. Literature is a flying fish. The purpose of literature is to turn blood into ink. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your crisp words of encouragement. This International Virtual Conference 2020 is organized for you, my dear participants. Your satisfaction is our bliss. We would like to hear about your views regarding this conference, starting from the resource persons, participants, paper presenters, and moderators. Over to Professor Henston and Saravanan.
Dear participants, it was wonderful to have you all through this 4 days. We'll now go to the video presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon and a warm hello to everyone who has joined in for this last session of this International Web Conference. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed following the deliberations that have been going on during the conference, and especially the live streaming link was a big help, as it gave me the option of going through the talks and presentations at my own convenient time. All the deliberations that I could attend were interesting, thought-provoking, and some were also very informative. I'll add that of all the online events in India that I've been part of in these past 2 months, this event has been the best in terms of how minutely, how meticulously the logistics have been worked out. Every small detail has been worked out. There's been excellent backup, an ever alert technical team, all adding up to a seamless experience that kept the focus on the discussions rather than attention being diverted to other issues. Well, to talk numbers, 5 days, 4 institutions, 4 organizing secretaries, 3 technical teams in different locations across the state, 15 speakers, 500 delegates, a lot more perhaps. A conference which straddled diverse dimensions of the topic and multiple continents. In one word, I would say that the conference has been massive, and it has been a massive success too. And therefore, all of you who came together to organize this event deserve a proportionately large thank you. So to the organizers, a massive thank you. You now deserve a much needed and a well-deserved rest. Thanks a lot.
Esteemed fellow participants, let me start by congratulating and complimenting the organizing institutions of this 5 days web conference. Indeed, my experience of the conference has been extraordinary and memorable. The range of themes, the variety of discourses, and the rigorous question-answer sessions made the experience unforgettable. Also, I appreciate the sense of punctuality and meticulous planning and execution done by the organizers. I sincerely feel privileged and enriched by being a part of the conference, for which I thank all the fellow teachers and professors of organizing institutes. Particularly, I thank Dr. Anthony Sami from Loyola College, Chennai, for considering my name as one of the speakers. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, Ravi Bhushan, sir. That was very kind of you.
Dear professors, colleagues, I'm very grateful that you were able to convene this very important international conference on language and literacy. Indeed, we have had an opportunity to learn so much from the contributions that came from various professors on this important matter. As people who are concerned with the and language in education and the cultural implication into language education, we've come to realize actually that there is a lot that still needs to be done. And the more we interact, the more we read, the more we research on this topic, the better we become well equipped to be able to face the challenges and make the future better. So the more we interact, the more we read, the more we research on this topic, the better we become well equipped to be able to face the challenges and make the future better. So I thank you so much for the opportunity that was given to me, particularly for me to be able to also share my experience from this part of the world, particularly Africa and Zambia. And I wish we could have more of these kinds of activities and events. Thank you so much, professors. May God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Habimana Cedric, Professor of English, Rusunga University, Zambia.
Hello everyone, my name is Namrata and I teach at the Mahila Mahavidyalaya in Banaras in the university at Varanasi. I was very happy to be a part of the 5-day international web conference on Industry 4.0 redefining language and literary studies. I enjoyed each and every session, and it was indeed a rare treat to listen to so many learned scholars on the same platform. One thing that really impressed me was the meticulousness with which each of the sessions were planned and the attention to every small detail given by the organizers. So I take this opportunity for thanking one and all the organizers for giving me the privilege and the opportunity to be a part of the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good evening to everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Namrata Ratur Mahanta, Professor of English. Thank you so very much.
I am Dr. R.S. Bhaskaran from Omar Al Mukhtar University, Libya. This 5 days international web conference is really an international conference because it consists of 9 international speakers and 7 national speakers who delivered their scholarly, informative and thought-provoking speeches on the occasion. I would like to give my feedback and also thank the administrators, conveners, organizers of Trivandrum University, Vellore, Loyola College, Chennai, Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur, Government Tirumahal Mills College, Kudiyatham. I sincerely thank convener Professor Dr. Kadiresan, who has given me wonderful opportunity to share my experience and knowledge on female masculinities in English literature, reference with plays of Shakespeare. I also thank Dr. V. Collins Arun Prakash, who gave me technical assistance. Thank you so much for one and all to make the conference a grand success.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Ilapalli from Indira College of Technology. I am the research consultant coordinator. I am also one of the participants in this 5-day
Dear participants, now we will have the feedback video from yet another participants of this conference. Let us listen to it. Thank you.
Everybody, this is Shreya Jain from Haryana. Me being a science student showing interest in English is something that many people actually don't digest, but deep down it finds an amazing combination. I was 13 when I started writing, and just like any friend, I used to write my so-called school struggles or what I've had the whole day. I don't know when this became an habit, and my diary, my best friend. I have attended all the sessions and I totally loved it. They were extremely fruitful. This 5-day virtual conference is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my 18-year-old journey, I would say. I love the way how Dr. Sumati Shripati, the chair during my presentation, was really helpful and friendly and encouraged me for my better future, as well as corrected me for all those things that I've said wrong. I also adore the punctuality and the calmness of all the individuals who are connected to the International Virtual Conference 2020. This was the very first time I have participated in a conference like this, and actually I was really nervous initially, and I really didn't know how the registration is being done or how the paper presentation is done. Thank you so much for helping me throughout and cooperating with me. I really thank from bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Dear participants, it's nice hearing this feedback. Now I request Dr. Yasmin to give her feedback about this conference. Yasmin ma'am, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's definitely a pleasure to be a part of such a wonderful conference, as it has been very rightly said by many of my colleagues and many of the resource personnel, and of course the participants.
Bani.
Am I being heard?
Yes, ma'am. Proceed, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. Greetings from Zambia, and I just want to say thank you to a very big thank you to the organizers for giving me an opportunity, and especially I want to thank Professor Kathir for extending this invitation that I could actually share this platform with such elite body of scholars and of course such eager learners. I have enjoyed the body of participants, their engagement with the happenings of the conference, their thought-provoking questions and comments. It has been such a pleasure, a personal delight on my part to be a part of such a wonderful conference. I have loved the organizing team's meticulousness, as it has been pointed out by very many people who have spoken before me. You have really done a wonderful job. It has been a personal delight, and I'm really looking forward to be a part of many more conferences organized by this team once more. And I have gained a lot of friends through this conference. I have gained, I would say, family members. Professor Kathir has become my elder brother. I call him Anna. So thank you very much once again to the organizers. And all I would say is, during this time of distress and pandemic, please stay strong, stay connected, and don't lose the zeal to live, to influence other people's lives, as it has been basically done through this conference. We have been connected, even though we are a world apart, even though we are different, we come from different parts of the world, but this conference has given us a platform to connect to each other and be a part and influence each other's thoughts. So let's stay connected, and please stay safe and be blessed. Thank you once again.
Madam, thank you so much for your warm words of felicitation. Now I request Professor Bani Pratap Mahanta to share his feedback about this conference. Sir, over to you.
I have already shared my feedback, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Professor has already finished.
Once again.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We will move on to the next one.
Now, we will have another video, feedback video by the participants. We will have it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rajeshri Barvekar, Assistant Professor working in the Department of English, Shivaji University, Kolhapur from Maharashtra. I am very happy that I got a chance to participate in a World International Conference on Industry 4.0 scenario redefining language and literature. I must congratulate the entire team of organizers for this great academic endeavor in the pandemic crisis of COVID-19. It was really a wonderful experience to attend the lively interactive sessions covering the variety of topics from the area of language and literature. I know it is a tough task to manage such a huge response for the conference and also to arrange the technical sessions, the panel discussions, as well as the paper reading sessions. But the organizers have done it very well, very skillfully. It was really an intellectual feast for us to hear the learned scholars from the various fields. It was a wonderful experience because the sessions covering the topics like creating and participating MOOCs are very useful in the present pandemic situation. Even the topics such as globalization, culture, diaspora are relevant and useful for the aspirant researchers in the field of English language and literature. So I once again thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to participate in this international conference. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, now we would like to connect Dr. Kaveri Ammal, the principal of GTM College, to share her views about. Madam? Hello? Okay. I think there is a problem in the connection. Now we will go for the continue the feedback of the participants. Now over to Professor Saravanan to present the feedback. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Ilam Pardi from Ibra College of Technology, Oman. I am the Research and Consultancy Coordinator here. I am also one of the participants in this 5-day international virtual conference. My research team and I presented 2 different research papers in this conference. And we are really thankful to the organizers for all the support, cooperation, and kindness. I was also one of the moderators, and as a moderator, I was really happy about the quality of the research papers that were presented. The research papers bore testimony to the hard work they put in to come up with the research papers. To add to it, we had excellent, insightful, meaningful, and scholarly keynote addresses. All things considered, this 5-day international virtual conference was an intellectual feast. We are thankful to the organizers for having arranged such a wonderful conference, and we look forward to having more in the future. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vidya, PhD research scholar from Madurai, Tamil Nadu. It's an immense pleasure to share my feedback about this 5 days workshop. And genuinely speaking, one of the best workshops I have ever attended, and I was thoroughly inspired by all the speakers. Lot of brilliant ideas, like Dr. T. Ravichandran's talk on participating and creating in MOOC, and learn a lot from Learning to Learn by Dr. Yasmin, and Dr. Wilson's talk was very insightful, and Dr. Bhaskaran's. I have been attending and listening his lecture from my PG days to till now, and he never fails to inspire his audience. And his talk on gender controversies in modern Indian writing in English was very much informative with extensive details to ensure the participants to have a clear understanding. And I have very limited time only, so I couldn't mention all the speakers' name individually, but on the whole, my sincere thanks to all the speakers for showering us with their knowledge and new ideas in both language as well as literature. And my sincere thanks to the organizing team and technical team, especially for their support, and all the organizers from all 4 institutions. We participants have been asking so many doubts and questions throughout these days through WhatsApp, Telegram, emails, phone calls, and you guys never fail to clear and answer our doubts and questions. Thank you so much, and thanks for giving the participants also present their ideas. And Dr. Vasigi ma'am, my special thanks to you for giving me this opportunity. And on the whole, it was very wonderful learning experience. Thank you so much, everyone, and be safe, be strong. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your feedback is very detailed one, and it means a lot to us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Devika Kakat, and I'm a PhD scholar from Avinashi Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I'm here to convey my heartfelt appreciation and gratitude towards all the organizers and moderators of this International Virtual Conference 2020, which I must say was very well organized and smoothly conducted in all its sessions in which we had a lot of speakers, eminent and scholarly speakers from various parts of India and abroad. It was all very useful and informative, and the paper presentation sessions too were very well organized. The time was kept, and we had very nice moderators in that too. And I would like to say that this was a very 5 fruitful days of my lockdown period, and I hope that the organizers conduct similar several such conferences and succeed in them in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You really make us to move further with an extra mile with great energy.
Namaskar to one and all. This is Govinda Sahu from SM Degree College, Golamunda, Kalahandi, Odisha. Every challenge is an opportunity. Pandemics, being the greatest foe of human race, have opened multiple novel avenues in the field of socio-political and literary scientific spheres of human life. Scientists have developed equipments, medicines have been invented, and many remarkable literary works have come up. Present pandemic COVID-19 has also come up as an opportunity for the intellectuals across the globe to unite in fighting against it through virtual platforms for scientific and literary activities. International Virtual Conference 2020, a 5-day international workshop, has been organized in the joint collaboration of towering educational institutions like Thiruvalluvar University Vellore, Loyola College Chennai, Sacred Heart College Tirupattur, and Government Tirunaggal Mills College Gadiyattam between 13th to 17th July 2020. All the sessions have been very much educative and the topics selected have been extensive in nature. The revered resource persons from South Africa, Zambia, Bangladesh, Libya, Saudi Arabia, and many literary luminaries across different leading universities of India have enlightened the sessions. It has been a well-organized virtual conference. I thank the organizers for making me a part of the same. Thank you all.
Dear participants, we value your feedback videos. We will definitely play after the vote of thanks and national anthem. Let's stay connected with patient note. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. With heartfelt beatitude of gratitude, Reverend Dr. Maria Arokeraj is here to propose vote of thanks. We welcome you, Father.
Thank you, Ms. Anto. Thank you, Ms. Anto. O Lord, that lends me life, lend me a heart replete with thankfulness, says William Shakespeare. Dear friends, I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks in the name of all the four conveners, Dr. Kaduresan, Dr. K.S. Antonisamy, Dr. P. Vasagi, and myself, Dr. K. A. Maria Arokeraj, who have visualized this grand vision. In the first place, I bow my head in gratitude to God for being the source of inspiration and guidance for this conference. The grand international level virtual conference began with a simple idea that during the lockdown situation in India, without any profit motive, to really bring some quality and relevant learning to our research students and staff, especially for the serious learners from the field of English, we need to organize a high quality training program. That's how the idea of paper presentation and publication too came up to help publish quality papers in reputed journals. It is fitting that we gratefully remember the four collaborating institutions of Thiruvalluvar University Vellore, Loyola College Chennai, Sacred Heart College Tirupattur, GTM College Gudiyatham, for coming together to organize such as this International Virtual Conference 2020. In a special way, all the heads of the institutions for permitting such an event. In a special way, I would like to place on record all the assistance given by Dr. Bhaskaran, Gandhigram University, for introducing Dr. Sumati Tripathi, who in turn introduced Dr. Moses Chalva and Dr. Yasmin Sultana, who in their turn introduced Andriano Chalve and Habimana Cedric. I am still thanking all the stars one by one, says Marcia Mayer. The resource persons were the backbone of this great conference. I would like to mention their names in the order of their presentation. Dr. Banibatra Mahanta, Professor of English, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, who spoke on the politics of national representation and the Northeast. Dr. T. Ravichandran, Professor of English in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Kanpur, UP. He spoke on the topic of creating and participating in MOOCs. Reverend Dr. Andriano Chalve, former Vice Chancellor, Trans-African Christian University, South Africa, who spoke on the cultural imagination. Dr. G. Bhaskaran, Professor of English, Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University Dindigul, Tamil Nadu, who spoke on the gender controversy in modern Indian writing in English. Dr. M. Mani Ruzman, Professor of English at Jahangir University, Bangladesh, who spoke on apps-assisted language learning. Dr. Yasmin Sultana Muchindu, Director of E-Learning and a lecturer in the Department of Behavioral Sciences at the Rusunga University, Zambia, who spoke on the topic of learning to learn. And Reverend Dr. Francis M. Peter, S.J., Professor of Managerial Communication, XLRA, Jamshedpur, Jharkhand, who spoke on the innovative topic, Forensic Linguistics for Industry 4.0. Dr. R.S. Bhaskaran, Professor of English, Omar Al-Mukhtar University, Libya, who spoke on the famous topic, female masculinities in Indian on English literature. Dr. Habimana Cedric, Professor of English, Rusunga University, Zambia, who spoke on the second language teaching in sub-Saharan Africa from a colonial legacy to innovative socio-economic enterprise. Dr. Sujata Menon, Professor of English and language trainer, Zahan University, Saudi Arabia, who spoke on blended learning. Dr. Clementis Lutz, Professor of English, Pondicherry University, India, who spoke on the religion and spiritual identity in literature. Dr. Wilson Silungwe, Executive Director for Zambia Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Studies, Zambia, who spoke on indigenous literature and media literature. Dr. Namrata Rathur Mahanta, Professor of English, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, UP, who spoke on diasporic imagery. Dr. Ravi Bhushan, Professor of English, Bahadpur Singh Mahila, Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur Kalyan, Haryana, who spoke on the autonomous learner paradigms of ELL. And finally, the last speaker, Dr. Moses Chalve, Professor of English, Harvard University, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia, who spoke on the globalization and multiculturalism. Appreciation can make a day, even change a life. Your willingness to put it into words is all that is necessary. I would like to thank in a special way the people associated with the 4 organizing institutions. Many of them have been moderators for different sessions. I would like to thank Professor Dr. S. Thamare Selvi, the Vice Chancellor, Thiruvallur University, Dr. S. Syed Shafi, the Registrar in Charge, the organizers, Dr. K. Ravichandran, Dr. C. Anita, Dr. K. M. Kannadasan, Ms. N. Tamirini, Assistant Professors. From Loyola College, Chennai, Reverend Dr. Francis P. Xavier, the Rector, Reverend Dr. D. Selvanayagam, the Secretary, Dr. A. Thomas S.J., the Principal, Dr. Melchias Gabriel, the Deputy Principal, and the organizers, Dr. V. David Jayabalan, Associate Professor. From Sacred College, Tirupattur, Reverend Dr. John Alexander, SDB, the Rector and Secretary, Reverend Dr. D. Maria Anthony Raj, the Principal, the organizers, Professor N. Aruldas, Head Department of English Shift 1, Ms. J. Mayor Genevieve, Head Department of English Shift 2, and from GTM College, Gudiyatham, the patron, Dr. S. Kaviriyammal, the principal, the organizers, Ms. M. Gomadi, Ms. S. Bharati, Mr. A. Ramesh, Dr. A. Yuvaraj, all assistant professors of English, GTM College. This international conference would not have been possible without the support of our technical team, which has been working long before the start of this conference. They have been the silent workforce, but the work put in by them is truly amazing. Hats off to them. I would fail in my duty if I don't mention their name. The technical team from Rajalakshmi Engineering College, Tandalam, Kanchipuram, Dr. Thomas Alva Edison, Dr. Dwaragnath, Dr. Hari, all from the Department of English. Team from Loyola College, Chennai, under the guidance of Ms. Sharmila Tobi, and the team from Secretariat College, Tirupattur, Dr. Collins, HOD of PG Department of Chemistry, Mr. John Martin, HOD Department of Computer Applications, Ms. Dharma Devi, Department of Computer Applications, Mr. Sherlin, Department of Computer Science, Mr. Thomas Emmanuel, the Director of GCC, Department of MCA. From the Department of English, we have the following assistant professors: Mr. Peter Conicius Prabhu, Mr. Jivanandan, Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Henston, Mr. Prabhakaran, Ms. Anto Maria Isobia. From the Department of Communicative English, we have Mr. Klotungan, Mr. Sivanyanam, and Ms. Anchana. The support staff, Mr. Jnanaraj, Mr. Stephen Arikaraj, and Mr. Anthony. I would like to pass on to you some very important announcements regarding your paper publications and certificates at this moment. Dear participants, all the participants and paper presenters, kindly submit the feedback form and the confirmation form, which will be made available to you in your registered email ID at the end of this valedictory. For the kind attention of the paper presenters, a confirmation form for the paper presenters will be sent to your registered email ID by today to collect your details and the title of your paper for the certificates. Kindly take care to furnish your exact details as you would like to appear on the certificate. Remember, we will not be editing your details. The paper selection committee will be meeting soon to shortlist the papers for publication. We shall intimate the status of your paper through your registered email ID by 30th of this month, that is July. Then the authors have the choice to publish your papers as a chapter in a book with ISBN or in a UGC CARE listed journal or in a Scopus indexed journal. Of course, the authors will have to bear the processing fee fixed by the publishers. Certificate for the participants. All the participants and paper presenters kindly submit the feedback form and the confirmation form, which is already available to you and which also will be sent to your registered email at the end of this valedictory. We shall process your attendance and you will start receiving your certificates within a week from today. Henceforth, the common announcements will be made through the Telegram group. You could send your queries through our email ID, ivc2020a@gmail.com, which is already given in the brochure. My dear participants, we have tried our level best to live up to our vision and to your expectations of bringing quality and relevant training, relevant learning to all serious learning minds in the field of English language and literature. We have tried to provide you an international platform to share your ideas with a transnational and transcontinental audience and a chance for journal publication. I must say that you have been a great audience all through, with your patience, with your presence, with your participation and great support. Thank you, resource persons, paper presenters. If the only prayer you said was thank you, that would be enough. With the same prayer, thank you, I sign off with a grateful heart. See you soon.
Thank you, dear Father, for your sincere words of gratitude, which remains in our heart forever. Let's thank and honor our nation by proudly sing out our national anthem. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things like this can be achieved. On behalf of all the collaborative agencies of this international conference, we thank you all for your ceaseless support and cooperation. Let's drop the curtains of this international virtual conference 4.0 with cordial note of gratitude and mirth. Thank you, one and all. Let's stay safe, healthy, and live the moment. Dear enthusiastic participants, let's continue to cherish our fabulous memories of this conference through your feedback videos.
Hello everyone, this is Farhasha, working as an assistant professor in Mufakhamja College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, Telangana. This is a wonderful conference to attend. For me, the conference generated a lots of ideas and thoughts, and I think it's a very well organized conference. It is beneficial and helpful for all group of people. The next thing is it is an appropriate way to flourish and enhance awareness to different people all over the world. So I do have a very good experience as a presenter also. I do believe that this would become possible just because of the organizers who put their efforts in to organize this conference in a best possible manner. So I thank all the speakers and organizers for making this event successful and a memorable one. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Professor Kati and your entire team, thank you so much for the manner in which you handled the International Virtual Conference 2020, and also for being gracious enough to invite us to be part of the conference. We thank you so much. We thank you for the privilege to speak, and we thank you because you gave us the chance to meet so many wonderful people. It was such a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak and to contribute to the conversations around the conference to do with literature. We were pleased to share some of the experiences from our country, Zambia, and we were pleased to hear presentations from many other areas or parts of the world. Please, whenever there's an opportunity, again, whenever you hold a conference of this nature, we are available. We'll be there to the little that we can to ensure that whatever event that you're going to host will succeed. But then we pray that blessings will continue coming your way. May God continue guiding you. May God continue blessing everything that you're doing together with your team. This was such a wonderful privilege, and we are so grateful for that opportunity again. So stay well, stay blessed. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Amit Nelson, an independent researcher from the city of Taj, that is Agra, Uttar Pradesh. And I just want to thank all the organizers of this 5-day international web conference, Tiruvali University, Loyola College, Sacred Heart College, and Government Thirumangalam Hills College. All of them for giving us this wonderful platform of gaining a lot of knowledge and information. At the same time, I also want to thank all the organizers who were very helpful, especially Dr. Anthony Swami and Dr. Vasukuki. And they have been wonderful, and it was a wonderful experience. I would love to be a part of more such events like this. Thank you, and it was wonderful. I lack in words to say thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Respected chairperson, honorable professors, teachers, research scholars, distinguished guests, International Virtual Conference 2020 Industry 4.0 Scenario Reading Language and Literary Studies has provided us a platform from where we have presented the paper. I, Dr. Anita Shrivastava, being the part of BHU, got an opportunity after a long time to listen to Ms. Dr. and Professor Mohanty. I really very thankful to the webinar that given me once again the opportunity to listen and enlightened by that type of professors. Not only Dr. Mohanty, but side on the other hand, Dr. Yasmin from Zambia and Dr. Manan from Saudi Arabia has given us an innovative ideas in this changing perspectives. As the world is changing or the world is on the way of change, they have given us tremendous knowledge in this scenario. And by adopting these things, we can also move ahead with the changing world. I really thank to them, and I really thankful to the webinar and the organizers that they organize such a platform from where we not only got an opportunity to present the paper, but we also got an opportunity to listen such type of professors who has given us a knowledge of different field at the time of COVID-19. Once again, I am very thankful to the webinar and their organizers. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. I am Sonia Chadda, a research scholar of English literature from the Department of School of Humanities and Social Sciences of G.D. Goenka University, Gurugram, Haryana. I am working under the guidance of Dr. Parul Mishra. I would like to congratulate the organizers and all the eminent speakers for such a magnificent sessions. The blended learning by Dr. Sujata Menon, the MOOCs by Dr. Ravi Chandran is the need of the hour. As Dr. Yasmin says, learning is universal and learning never stops. I am very delightful to be part of such a great event. Thanks one and all for such a sagacious and illuminating sessions. I'm looking forward to such prudent sessions in future. Thanks again. Thanks once again. Have a nice day.
Good afternoon to one and all gathered here.
The 5-day international virtual conference has made me enlightened. The program is highly remarkable for bringing in the subject experts all over the world. The topics which were dealt in the conference were entirely new. It was an eye-opener and it made me enlightened on the current issues. The listeners were taken from the known to unknown. I thank the organizers of the collaborative institutions for their tremendous efforts towards the grand success of the program. Thank you, one and all.
Good morning, everyone. This is Anita Tangallamati from Hyderabad, Telangana. I work in a private engineering college as assistant professor in the Department of English. Coming to the conference, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the organizers for organizing such an event. I understand the huge challenges involved in facilitating such a huge event. However, you took it up and you met the expectations of the participants. Congratulations once again. Initially, I felt it's just like any other conference. But when I looked at the brochure sent to me by mail, the themes and the concepts that this conference embraced really amazed me. Not only the themes, even the presentations were solid. The speakers' way of handling these themes was highly impressive. Personally speaking, I have generated a lot of ideas from this conference, and I hope that most of you have done the same. And the next aspect that I would like to say is that the conference was highly affordable, which was again very surprising for me, considering it to be an international conference. And organizers, it is a sheer benevolence from your side, and nothing can match your benevolence. And next, of all the organizers, I would like to mention particularly one name, Dr. Vasuki. She was really helpful, understanding, and her response was instant. Thank you, ma'am, for being so. On the whole, I expect this group of colleges to conduct many more such conferences in future. Thank you all very much. It was a real treat for us. Thank you once again, and a thumbs up sign for you all. Thank you.
Yes.
Audio வந்திருக்குங்க already.
Dear participants, now we have feedback from Srimati Sumati Sripati. Let us watch that. Ma'am, are you available? Professor Sumati Sripati, Madam, could you connect yourself? Dear participants, we'll try to Dear participants, we have a feedback from Professor Sumati Sripati. We would like to get it connected. Kindly do wait. Within a few seconds, we will try to get it connected, and we'll get the comments and feedback from Professor also. Thank you. It's been a wonderful sessions all through these 5 days. I hope you would have thoroughly enjoyed the topics presented by different presenters on various emerging and essential topics in the language and literature. We are overwhelmed by the responses that were given by the participants as well as the resource persons. Just in a moment, we'll listen to the feedback from Professor Sumati Sripati. We would like to thank all the resource persons, moderators for your wonderful support in conducting this conference in a very grand manner. In fact, speakers from all over the world, different parts of the globe had contributed their expertise with us. We are indeed very much grateful to them.
Dr. Collins?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Is ma'am Sumati is ready to talk?
Actually, we are putting her on connecting, sir.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Yeah, we'll wait. Okay.
Sir, actually, she has shared a video.
Right.
No, that is an audio file, madam. That is an audio file. So you can play the audio file if you want.
Yes,
Madam
sir.
is also
Yes,
participant. But still, madam wants us to play the audio. She has blessed us and she has sent us the audio well in advance.
Yes, it is available. So we are just getting it connected. The audio is getting connected.
Professor Collins, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just in a minute, we'll play it. Thank you. dear Professor Anthony Swami and Professor Kadiresan. Sir, if you want to give some instructions to the audience or the participants, you can give in the meantime while we load the audio. Thank you, sir.
You want me to give something, some instructions?
Yes, sir. If there are anything more to be told to the participants with regard to publication and things like that,
Okay.
you can do that. In the meantime, we'll get it connected,
Yes.
sir. Thank you so much.
My dear participants, I would like to thank you sincerely for your cooperation, for the smooth conduct of the conference. But for you, this conference wouldn't have been smooth as it was. Thank you very much for your cooperation. You certainly fell in line with. I would appreciate that. There are few instructions which Father Maria Argaraj could have given you. Please follow those instructions, and you please respond to our email enquiries, email communication promptly, so that we will be able to help you, serve you better. And I would very much request you not to post too many queries in Telegram group, because the important information is last. Therefore, I would request you not to post too many enquiries or too many replies in Telegram group, as I deem it as a platform for sharing important information. Any communication that we send through your registered email, please respond immediately. Certainly, we will keep in touch with you, and we will give you all information regarding certificates and also publications. You can definitely stay connected with all of us, and we look forward to a few more ventures like this in the days to come. Certainly, we can journey together towards a new normal, new ways of teaching and learning. Wish you all the best once again. Thank you very much for your cooperation. It has been a wonderful experience to journey with you for the last 1 week. As I said, that 1 week simply whisked away. Just like that, it started and it has come to an end. And that is the real strength of our togetherness in the academic journey. Wish you all the best. We will definitely have a repeat of this. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to collaborate with you. Now, we will listen to Professor Sumati Sripati, his words of felicitation.
It gives me great pleasure to present a feedback of this awesome happening the whole week through. I would say that it was like a dream come true. A dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement. This is the best thought for such a dream of the organizers that has come to a fruition, a grand achievement, and that can never be forgotten. Dear organizers and all the departments of, all the officials of the English departments of the 4 major institutions of Tamil Nadu, nonetheless, you have won the race. And you should say, none of us would forget the inspiring lectures by the powerful academic perfectionists, and that shows the years of research and the depth of knowledge, and their ability to present the subject was just fantabulous, I should say. And it was such a great opportunity to be with all the elite, erudite scholars the whole week through, interlinking thought processes of what Indian scholars and Bangladeshi scholar, as well from abroad, Libya, and then a lot of them from old scenario, how the modernity has grown so strong, and that we are trapped in this pandemic, yet we were enlivened by this explicit thoughts of great scholars the whole week through. I should say a special thanks to the University of Tiruvallur and Loyola College of Chennai and 2 other colleges of Tamil Nadu and of the government, that they have done a great job. And the joy and happiness being in this webinar is touching to our hearts, and from deep down my heart I would say it was a well done one, and great cheers to all of you, and hip hip hooray for being such wonderful people, to think of every one of us to give such a grand scenario of literary learning. Thank you for the opportunity and being a part of it the whole week through.
Thank you, Professor, for your word of appreciation to all of us. Now, over to Dr. Kadiresan, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Collins. This is the right time to thank Professor Sumati Sripati, the daughter of a very great scholar from Madurai, Dr. Sripati. And she was, in fact, helping us whenever we called her without any hesitation. And whenever we sought her help, she said that this is an academic exchange, so I don't mind helping you all. And she is a real, true human being who helped us in every way. And if not for her, we could not have got all the Zambian scholars for our conference. Thank you, Sumati Madam. Thanks a lot for all the help you have done to us. And thanks, my dear Bhaskarana, for introducing such a wonderful scholar, Dr. Sumati Sripati. And this is the time to thank my fellow organizers too. Dr. Father Maria, Dr. K.S. Antonisamy, Dr. P. Vasigi, my wife too. We enjoyed working together in this conference. The whole idea was mooted by Dr. Father Maria 2 years back. Actually, we planned to have a real-time conference, but because of COVID, we went for web conference. And at the same time, as Father Maria rightly pointed out, the 3 good Samaritans from Rajalakshmi Engineering College visited our university and said, why not we go for web conference? So this idea, a wonderful idea, mooted by all, that's what I should say now. One side, Father Maria, and the other side, Dr. Dwaranath, Dr. Thomas Alva Edison, and Mr. Hari, Sri Hari. It all, in a way, beautifully bloomed. That's what I can say now. And whenever we had a meeting, every one of us, I should say this, every one of us joined without any hesitation and shared all their views. And there was no ego clash, I should say this, because 4 great institutions joined hands together. And also Rajalakshmi Engineering College people, they also joined us. And all our colleagues from the 4 departments joined us. And we will wait for each one of us to join the meeting. And in a way, we had a good fun in the meeting also. We laughed our heart out. That's what we can say now. So it was a wonderful moment we spent together. And every day till night 1:30, we were spending together. I do not know in the forthcoming days, I would go to bed early as usual at 9:30 p.m. I don't think so. I'll be waiting for someone to come online and share something in the Zoom meeting. And I should especially thank Professor David Jayapalan, my senior in American College. And without him, the whole meeting would have been very serious. And the way in which everyone cracked jokes, fun, my God, that's a real joint venture, we should say. I thank God for introducing all these good souls to us. And also, I thank especially the technical team from Sacred Arts College, as well as the team members who supported us from Rajalakshmi Engineering College, Chennai. So whatever we wanted and whatever we dreamt, they made it as a real. So without them, this seminar would not have been successful. Thank you all the team members for supporting us throughout. So if I missed anyone, it is purely out of my forgetfulness and not because of any deliberateness. Thank you one and all for joining us and making this event a grand success. I thank all the participants, paper presenters, moderators of paper reading session, moderators for the resource person. I thank each and every one of you as the organizing team as a whole. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And now over to Professor Collins.
Maybe with the permission of the organizers, may I play another one feedback from Professor Anita, Professor in English of VIT University, sir.
Yes, Professor Collins. Maybe after that, Professor Collins?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After that, Dr. Vasi wants to say a few words.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
Person and my fellow participants. I'm Dr. Anita Devi from Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, Tamil Nadu, India. I take this opportunity to thank the organizers for this International Virtual Conference 2020, a 5-day international web conference on Industry 4.0 scenario, redefining language and literary studies. A special thanks to Dr. Kadresan sir, Dr. Anthony sir, Father Aropia sir, Dr. Vaski ma'am, and all their faculty, team members who made this really possible during this pandemic, making the session so lively with a wide range of topics ranging from indigenous literature, gender studies, diaspora, blended learning, creating MOOCs. The best part of this conference is that though we were attending online sessions, we can go back to the YouTube recorded video sessions and we can understand the concepts again. We can have a session with our research scholars. We can share ideas. We can look at these videos n number of times. It's amazing. During this crisis, we are able to go on with the learning and sharing process. As the saying goes, the influence of a great teacher can never be erased. It's amazing. I salute all the organizers and the resource person, and of course all the fellow participants who made it to the paper presentation. The networking has been amazing. The arrangements really unimaginable. At any point of time, everything was answered. We had the paper presentation sessions as it would go on in a real life situation. So it was good to be part of this 5-day virtual conference. Thank you.
Over to Professor Vasuki for her comments. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is a very, very memorable moment that we had been waiting for since years together, because this is our first joint venture as man and wife, and it was totally muted out by Father Maria. Thank you, Father, for joining us in this venture. And thank you, Anthony Sami sir, for accepting Government Tirumagal Mills College in the collaborative effort with Tiruvallur University and your board teams. First of all, it is a really providential kind of a work behind this unimaginable, massive, enlarged meta conference that we had been, what do you say, we have seen. And we are really grateful to Sumati ma'am, Yasmin ma'am, for all the effort that they have given in making this conference a real success. And of course, my mentor and guide, Dr. Bhaskarana, deserves a claim here for introducing Suma ma'am and Yasmin ma'am. With regard to the contribution of all the faculty members of the organizing collaborative institutions, the technical team members from Rajalakshmi Engineering College, from Sacred Heart College, and from Loyola College, who work behind the screen. Thank you one and all for your immense support, because without you, this cannot be dreamt of. I once again thank the paper presenters, the moderators of all the sessions, the moderators for the resource person, and of course all the resource persons among whom I have gained a few sisters and many brothers. So that is how this particular conference has contributed to me as a individual, academically as well as personally. Every day, as Professor Kadiresan said, we used to sit back after all the household work is over to discuss about the conference. And maybe from today onwards, we will miss such meetings, because there we have really had good fun discussing quite seriously, planning out very meticulously about each and every step in executing this program successfully. It is really a learning experience for all of us. And I look forward to working with all these collaborative institutions, so that in future we also would be able to establish ourselves as a government college. And maybe I think I have left out Professor Ilam Pardi from abroad, from UAE, who also contributed papers as well as his resources. Thank you, sir. And this is to be on the lighter side. This is our first joint venture as man and wife. So I thank God for, and I look forward for such collaborative work in the future. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Anthony Sami, sir, David, sir, technical team friends, and all fellow participants, my own department staff members, Professor Bharati, Dr. Yuvaraj, and all the participants and paper presenters, resource persons. Once again, thank you one and all.
Nice, ma'am. What God has united, what God has brought you together, let no man put asunder. Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Good. Congratulations, ma'am. Very happy that the first joint venture between husband and wife in the real academic circle, it's gone well. Happy to see and very proud of you people being such a nice, good couple. We're able to give and take and able to laugh at each other and laugh with others too. That's a very great thing, ma'am. Wonderful.
Children are waiting outside with the tea. With
For the
all
cake.
17 are there with the cakes, Father.
Please, you please
Ma'am.
give us online cake then.
Ma'am, 1 minute. 1 minute, ma'am. Yeah. After father finishes, I just want to compliment you.
Please, sir, please, sir, go ahead. Go ahead.
You.
And I said, what is that during the wedding ceremony? We just say, what God
I know. What has
brought,
God is united.
what God has put
It was
together,
a real
let no man put
surprise.
asunder.
We were just watching through the home TV, which was so big. We used to tell you, no, Father, we were sitting before there, and suddenly they came with the stool, and my second son came with the cake.
Oh, great, nice.
Ma'am,
great.
I should first of all thank my elder son, because he was the one who mediated between us both.
Okay.
Good. Nice.
So I just wanted to, say while listening to you that here is a perfect model where man and woman can work together without much clash. And you have been a wonderful model, an ideal, couple in academic line too. So I wish you all the best. And I also want to thank Dr. Kadiresan, Dr. Vasagi, Dr. Reverend Dr. Maria Arakaraj for having collaborated with our institution, and it has been a real learning experience. All of us, journeyed together in a perfect coherence and a cohesive manner. That's what I would say. I'm sure networking is the future, and it is going to be definitely online. And we have set a kind of a perfect model for others to, follow. I just wanted to only acknowledge the contribution made by Secondary College, a tremendous contribution towards the success of this particular conference being virtual, and especially under the guidance of Reverend Dr. Maria Arikiraj, the whole department, and to mention Dr. Collins and Professor Dharma Devi. Often I used to say only Dr. Collins, but then Professor Dharma Devi has been very, very wonderful, very, very nice, coordinating, prompting, both. I can't simply separate, who did what and so on, but then as a perfect team, they coordinated very well along with their technical team. So I just, at this particular moment, I would like to thank the technical team of Sacred Art College, especially Dr. Collins and Professor Dharma Devi, for the wonderful coordination. But for them, this conference wouldn't have been a real success, because it is most of the time the technical glitch that lets us down. And you have lived up to the expectation, professors, and I salute you. I just want to, see you in person when I come to Sacred Art College and say a hearty thanks to you by shaking hands with you, maybe after Corona.
You can do it online, sir. No
online also I can do the handshaking and so on. At the same time, I would like to acknowledge the contribution made by some of our own staff, starting with, of course, Father Maria. Thanked Sharmila. She was working behind the screen. Professor Sharmila, Professor Tipston, Professor Lindsay, and the two MPhil scholars, definitely Mr. Andrew and Rutish. They have been working, sorting out the PEP abstracts and so on. It is definitely a good contribution. So thank you, my dear team, and of course Dr. David, along with David, Dr. Vidya, and Professor Julia. Of course, there are people who are going to work here after on documentation, Dr. Kannan and Mr. Ashwin and so on. All of them I would like to acknowledge at this particular moment for making Loyola contribution also possible. Thank you once again. And we will continue to thank one another as a team and then grow on each other's strength. That is my wish and that is my prayer. And I hope we will continue this journey. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind. Thank you.
We have a few photos taken while the technical team was hosting the show. We'll share it, whatever we have received, we'll share it in the screen. Thank you. சொல்லுங்க சார். This is the entire team that worked for the successful.
Very nice to see the photograph, collage of the photographs.
Yes,
that
sir.
gives us the real picture how you could have worked as a team behind the screen. Now only I could see.
Yeah, Dharma Devi and Collins.
Dharma Devi I have not seen in video. This is the first time I see her. in the photograph sitting along with Dr. Collins.
Yes, sir. Of course, I'm unable to share my videos. So it's not
No issue, no
problem.
issue. No issue. I'm
Thank you
just
so
saying.
much for your appreciation, sir.
No, you have been really wonderful coordinating along with Dr. Collins.
Yeah, of
Did a
course, this
good
is
job.
because of a father who
I
was
know.
always
I
given
know.
opportunity for us in the right times.
Ma'am, you
Yes.
know one thing, under the
Yes.
umbrella of leaders like Father Maria Arikaraj, we grow.
Yes, sure.
We
Of course,
develop
sure.
our skills and faculty. Therefore, we should remain thankful to such good leaders. Thank you, Father.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We'll also share a few more photos from what we have received from, I think probably from the Rajalakshmi Engineering College.
Yeah, please share. In case you have one or two screenshots of mine, also please share.
Yes,
This is Klothungan and Sivanyanam.
Okay, yeah.
From Communicative English.
Yeah. This
is Jivanandan.
Jiva.
From the Department of English.
He looks like a priest in a cassock.
No, sir. He is a proud father.
Proud father. Okay. Nice.
Almost he's a priest, sir.
I know. Half priest, eh?
But very obliging. Very obliging.
I know. The whole team.
Yeah, I should say. This is Sharlin from the Department of Computer Science. The other one is actually Prabhakaran from the Department of English. One who's standing is on Klothungan.
Yeah, Klothungan.
Yeah.
Father, now you understand why I left the entire responsibility to you. Because only you can pull it off.
Okay. This is Anchana. Okay, sir. I understand that. Yeah. Of course, here it is quite a little easier compared to being in Chennai because of the particular situation.
Because of situation. Otherwise, we could have also.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah. So this is Anchana, sir, from the Department of Communicative English. So this is you. So you wanted a photo, no?
Oh, that's
very scholarly photo.
Which one, Father?
Now, what we see on the screen.
Oh, that mic.
Mic with a mic, yes.
Okay. Right. When you say that it is scholarly, I feel like keeping it. Just few minutes ago, I thought of removing it.
Okay, no. It's very scholarly. It has got a sufficient seriousness.
And also formal look.
Very formal look. Yes,
Okay,
that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Knowingly or unknowingly, I have chosen the right one.
Nice.
Hope I live up to that expectation.
You are already, sir. You are already living up there. Yeah, this is the team from
Vellore.
Vellore.
You want to play any video?
No. That is already seen. That is the online cake that we can look at.
We can only look at the cake. I think it has already come into the networking group.
Yeah, it has come. From there only I just sent it.
Oh, you only sent it. Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Professor Kadir.
Yes, Professor.
Only you are celebrating. We are left out. Please.
No. Just to show the cake online. I'm sending the cake online.
It's like saying have the cake and eat it too.
That is
you have the cake and
you
eat it. Yeah, this is one of the classes. It is Professor Henston who put together all these, the days, recapping of the 5 days. And on his right is one Ganesh.
Yes.
Is also the shift one. Is also in the Department of English. So it was Henston who worked with the Saravanan to put together all these.
Saravanan was the one who always readily posted the link. I could
Yes,
see.
yes. That's it.
He
And
did a
also, he
good
was the
job.
one. We in fact received the registration money from GPay in his name and account.
In his name only.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
He was there practically whole day, morning till evening, morning till evening.
Definitely a perfect teamwork.
Professor,
Madam,
the cake is here.
Yeah.
Can I have a bite?
Yeah, please.
Sir, ma'am, it is a first venture, ma'am. Please give a bite to sir. Please.
Hello.
No, sir. We wanted to share it with you.
Sir, இது வந்து ஆசை காட்டி மோசம் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு.
No, please give it to Dr. Kadir. I feel I substitute that particular act of eating. You give it to him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now you said as a perfect match, combination. You worked together as a man and wife. Now you eat the cake. Give the cake to him or feed. So, sir, you have any problem being fed?
Sir, it's like...
He doesn't eat, huh? Does he not take cake? Does he not eat? Give a small piece. அவ்வளவு பெரிய piece கொடுத்தா எப்படி ma'am? Just give a small piece.
Small bite. Yeah, it's okay. Good.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, very, very positive note, Professor.
Yes, Professor. We should thank Father Maria for that. We'll meet
Surely.
soon.
Yes,
sir. Another planning, maybe.
Okay. It was nice, sir. It was very nice.